Hey everyone, welcome in or welcome back to my YouTube channel called GNY C Panther and EspeonGinny. And so, yeah, I am back at it with another video for you all because I know it's been quite a while since the last time I uploaded, even though I did upload a YouTube short, but that's besides the point. But as you can tell by the title of this video, I am not doing a Genshin Impact episode. No. Today's video we're going to be doing is a tutorial of Genshin Impact for all the new people out there that want to get to know of the game as well as just about everything. Keep in mind this, that I'm not really good at giving out tutorials or just how-tos like of DIYs or anything, help related. But I'm willing to take a try to, explain in my own experience, because if you guys did not know this, I've made 58 episodes of Genshin Impact so far, and I'm still quite new to it, but at the same time I'm not, because I've known the game for quite a long time. I never got to play it until one day I was like, you know what, I am going to make that series happen. And what do you know? It is right here. So I'm going to be doing the tutorial for you all. And so it's all thanks to this one comment on my YouTube video from my Genshin Adventure episode 54. Please correct me in the comments that I, mispronounce your name. But I'm sorry if I did, because you know me, I'm not really good at pronouncing names or words. So keep in mind this for the future. But yes, please just make sure you comment in this video that I did it wrong or if I did it correctly. Yeah. This comment is from Yuenna, aka I love IU forever and ever. They commented in my video saying, I downloaded Genshin after watching this, but I actually don't know how to start playing. Like, everything seems so confusing to me. If you don't mind, would you like to do a tutorial for newbie like us? Love your videos, by the way. So, I appreciate all the kindness and also in general that you love the videos. And so in honor of which that you do that, I'm going to do a tutorial for you, as well as all the other people that is new to the game. So, and just so you know guys, that you can do this in many ways of how you play it. Like, I'll say this for example, of course when you start off the game, you are in one area, and then you continue your way up. And then you could just skip along in the story and go to somewhere else, or that you can just continue how the story goes. So let me go ahead and show you guys, where I'm at. And also I'm going to start the game, because that way you guys know that I am playing this. But before I go ahead and get started with explaining the whole tutorial thing, I just want to let you guys know this, that it's up to you of which you use to play of Genshin, or any gacha game per se. If you want, you can use keyboard and mouse. That's what my fiance Panther does, because when he first started playing, he used the keyboard and mouse. But for me, I'm well played in controller, or on controller, because I think controllers better per se. And why is there a quest? Go away. Sorry. But yeah, I recommend you could choose whatever you want to use, to move around or play. Controller is better for me, because that way I know the controls easier, and also that in fact you get to get used to the controls very easily. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So of course you need to get your play of the app or the website. So once you download it, you can either choose whichever gacha game you want to play. Of course, you know by now that I've been playing Genshin Impact for quite a while, so I chose this game because, not because I wanted to make a series, but also that I got inspired thanks to one of my best friends from Discord as well as YouTube. So please be sure to check him out because he deserves all the love and support, and that is Puyo&SonicFAN. So he's my best friend, and I just really appreciate him no matter what because he's been there for me, like helping out with my issues, whether it's my mental health, to talk through things about my problems, or in general, just have some quality time with me to play video games or just to talk. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, of course, when you start off the story, you basically is separated from your sibling, whichever sibling you choose. For example, I have Lamine, aka myself, as you can see by saying EspeonGinny. So, you basically start off strong as which sibling you want to be. If you choose Lamine, you're going to be separated from your brother, Ether. But if you're Ether, it's the same thing but in reverse, that you are separated from your sister. So, of course, you start off strong in this area, which I'm in this area so that I can show you. And come here, crab! But, yeah. Basically, you just start off strong in this area. And, of course, as you can see by this little companion, also known as emergency food, it is Paimon. So she basically follows you everywhere you go. Not like, in general, just, in existence. But she is still following you most of the time, I would say. Because sometimes, you can be away from her for just a little bit. But Paimon and Lamine, or Ether, depending on which sibling you choose, will start off strong in this area, and you, of course, have to follow the instructions. For example, instructions like, the navigations of which quest you have to go to. I, unfortunately, don't know, what the name of the, first ever quest that you have to go, for continuing to go to the waypoints and navigating, because as you know, I've already played the beginning before, so I recommend you check out episode 1 because I was very new to it and I was confused, so. But yeah. But basically, you just continue on your way and just, go with what the tutorial's telling you. So for example, in this part, you just continue on your way. And of course, you can sprint, you can jump, swim, but make sure you don't use your stamina too much when you swim, because you can easily drown, and then you have to respawn somewhere else. But once you get to a certain area, such as for example this area, when you are playing in the tutorial, you collect the waypoint, and waypoints are basically teleporters. And they'll be easier for you to teleport anywhere you want, as long as it is blue. Because if it's red, you need to unlock it by just going up to it and then, unlock it that way. As well as same goes to statues of 7, for example. I'll go to one of them right now, which of course this is where you'll click on the very first statue of 7 in general. It was red or glowing very evilly, I would say. But now since you clicked on it and it's blue, you first get your first power, which I will change to it right now because that way I'll show you. But your first power will be Enemino. And so of course it'll show you how to play it of your power. You also have your weapon, which is your sword. And it depends on which character you have, because you either can be a sword character, a bow, catalyst, I think that's what's called, book, or magic per se, pole arms, and so much more. But as you can see by my weapon, it's what's it called? It's a wolf fang, which is really good for Lamine or in general myself. Because if you want to, you could have a 1-star weapon for the rest of your gameplay, but I highly recommend you don't, because 1-star weapons are helpful for now until you get a stronger weapon. Such as, for example, as well, Farina, another character that I have, she has her signature weapon of 5-star. And 5 stars are really strong, so it's just for Lamine. I don't think she has like her own signature weapon, so you could just choose which weapon you think it would do. But I chose Wolfang because I think it's best, and plus I call him my expert bestie that helps me through this game to see which like weapons or what artifacts to use. These are my stats currently, but they could be better, so it just depends on what artifacts you get. So anyways, once you unlock this, you unlock a portion of the map, and as you can see, I've been like doing a lot of things on this game. So of course, this area is called Mondstadt, which you start off strong in this story, and then you just continue like normal. You can continue whichever you want to do world quests first and then the story, or just do story first and then you just do world quests last to do. And so another thing is the exploration progress. As you can see, all the Mondstadt areas is 100%, meaning you have to look everywhere for chests, as well as you also collect these waypoints, these statues of 7, as well as some domains that you go to. And some domains are very easy because you start off strong. But once you get like further in the game, the domains will level up when you level up your adventure rank. Of course, you start off as level 1, but as you can see, I'm level adventure rank 57. So I'm almost close to being maxed on the, adventure rank, which is 60. Which is crazy to me to think that. But yeah, basically you have a lot of stuff to do. You just continue the story as normally, whichever how you want it. I try to continue the story as this, but once the new stuff showed up, I tried to do it, and well, look at the series now, that's a little outplaced, because originally the whole story is you start off at Mondstadt, and then when you go over here, of course you also have the Dragon Spine to do, which is a snowy area, which keep in mind when you do go to Dragon Spine, you have like a freeze meter, so you gotta make sure you activate as many heater like poles so that it can warm you up and you don't freeze to death, or just in general to lose your health. So keep that in mind, because I learned the hard way. I did not activate any heat poles, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna deal with it. But yeah, other than that though, of course there's like mini bosses, and so you get like all these rewards, most of them per se, depending on if you're lucky. You get adventure experience, mora, which is money. Companion experience is basically your character, and their companion goes up a bit. And then of course you have like the stuff that you need, like these artifacts to make your characters like artifacts stronger. And then you have these things which are for like ascending your characters, which if you are wondering, the ascension max is level 90. And so it may take a while, but you'll get, the hang of it. So, yeah. And if you're wondering why is there pickaxes, it's because sometimes the ores come back. Maybe I think every day or every now and then. So I like to get as many ores I can so I can make like crystals to level up my weapons, or just in general to like make sure I have enough. But once after Mondstadt is done, as well as you fight a boss, which I haven't done it yet because, well, I've been doing other things. But I'm not going to spoil too much of who you're fighting with in each region because you have to experience it yourself. But it does show in the story. Don't get me wrong. So, but after Mondstadt, you then go to Liyue Harbor. After that, it's going to You then go to Inazuma, which this is where I'm currently in progress of. It's just taking a long time because, well, I have other videos that I want to film, but let's just say this is in the way and I need to do it. But I'm not being mad. It's just I wish I can just finish Inazuma quickly as possible, but you can't really finish all at once. You just gotta take your time with it and don't rush things. Because, well, if you're like me, I'm interested what they have to say of each character of the story. So, once you're finished with Inazuma, there is another area that you have to unlock. And I forgot what it's called. But I think it was like something like of a forest or woods per se. But I recommend you doing that after Inazuma because it's very important. Or I think it's islands. But I'm not really sure because I haven't unlocked it yet because as you can see, I'm still in progress of Inazuma. And it's not really 100% yet because, yeah, the exploration says it as well as just in general. I have not been doing Inazuma. So, yeah. But after Inazuma and the islands, you then go to Sumeru. Which, of course, as you can see, there's no, Statue of 7 unlocked because I'm in the progress of Inazuma. So you basically go to Sumeru after 2 things. As well as also, there's the chasm, which I believe you could do it, before or after Inazuma. No, Liyue Harbor. But it's up to you, really, how you play it. I'm just telling you guys, what you would do if you were playing the whole story-wise. But after Sumeru, it's then Fontaine, which is only unlocked a little bit by bit because, well, I was doing other things, such as I gotta do this off camera. So, I don't really record a lot of stuff. So, for example, this event that we have, I don't record that because there's really no point recording all World Quests. Unless there's cutscenes and dialogue, as well as just importance. But once you finish Fontaine and other areas, I believe, then you go to Natlan, which, if you guys did not know this, Natlan is one of my favorite areas. And so, Natlan is just a wonderful place. And as I showed you before, this is the next video that I have to do, which I'm not going to do right now because, well, this is a tutorial, as well as just in general, that's another video for next time. So, yeah, basically you just, finish Natlan, and then you of course have the Ancient Scared Mountain, which is part of Natlan, per se, and it's really up to you what you want to do. Because I tried to do things in order, but since there was new events and rewards, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to get rewards. And so, I'll show you guys right now, for example, these. Events overview is basically all the events you have, and then some of them have time limit, but some of them don't. For example, of course, I have to do this, which is almost going to be gone in about to be 5 days, so yeah. There's also other events like co-op, and then something involved the story, per se. And you also have test trials or test runs so that you can see what, the character's design as well as how they attack. For example, I have Moika already, but she uses her, weapon as well as her motorcycle. And so, let me just say this, that she is a baddie, that she does that. But other than that, anyway, we also have, of course, Emily, Ino-san, and Yao Yao. And it's just to test out which character you want to use, as well as get to know what they do. And you get, of course, rewards after you complete the trial stage. Of course, I have these two Archon quests that I need to film, but there's no really time limit on those, so. And then this is the Spiral Abyss, per se. And so, I only do that when it resets. And so, as you can see, it just got here not too long ago. But you get like a random increase of like whether it's crit damage, attack, and all. It's whatever they give out to you, and you have to complete as many floors / chambers to get rewards as well as other things. But it does get difficult once you gain the hang of it. We also have the theater lobby, which of course is almost the same thing, but you get amount of characters that gives you, as well as you get use some of your characters to fight off monsters to get, and you have to be on time with those because some of them are time limited. Like for example, you have to fight opponents in a certain amount of time, and sometimes the theater is a little difficult because, as you can see, I got all the rewards finally, but I still have not gotten all the keys of echoes as well as other stuff that are in there. But yeah, that's basically it for that part. I explain which region to start off strong, and then you continue your way up. Now I will show you the Serenity Pot, which you get that in Leeway later on in that part. But I'm only giving you a brief tour because I think that'll be a different video to just show you my teapot. But as you can see, there's Tubby, our teapot spirit, who will of course give you instructions of how do you make your teapot better. You can create your furnishings and gain companion experience as well. But this is partially my teapot area. I of course have my house as well as other things. I'm in the process in like all the up in areas, but I'm not going to reveal too much. As well as I also have, of course, my characters that you can have your characters join in your teapot, and you will talk to them and they'll explain how they like their well, not there, but how they'll like your teapot home. And as you see, I have Marissa, Lynette, Kiara, Razor, Kachina, Amber, Nilu, and Noelle. And, well, I have all these characters because once you have your coins maxed as well as the experience, you get, like, your companion experience all the way up. And so I'm in the process trying to get them to level 10. Amber and Marissa, on the other hand, they're still new, so I gotta wait till, like, a long time to get those up. But then once I get to 10, I then switch to whatever other character I currently have. Which you can pretty much do whoever you want, but yeah, it's gonna be a while for you to get the teapot home. But it's fun to just go in and relax. Don't have to worry about a thing. So now, it's time to explain about the other stuff. So of course I'm right here because that way I'll explain a bit better. When you of course pause the game, there's camera, which you could take photos of yourself in the world in the game so that you can like save it and then show it off to your friends, which I do that occasionally. You have notices, which is basically just sharing updates, what we have, as well as events going on. Such as, of course, we have an update, as well as we have this upcoming. So, it just gives you a, like, brief explanation what's coming up over the next few days, weeks, or depending on how long it'll take. Because, of course, for example, this quest, it don't really have a time limit, but I would have to do it soon because, well, I don't want it to be gone. But though I highly doubt it's going to be gone because these are our conquests. But yeah, then you have your mail, which of course you either get rewards like this. They like update it, and then you get redeem codes so that you can redeem for primo gems, which are for wishing, some adventurous experience so that you can level up your characters and all. You of course get recipes as well as some mora or just anything that has, you know, a code of reward, and get wings for certain areas. So there's that. But this right here is also birthdays from every character, but you have to have the character and, well, no, I guess you don't. I don't think so. But you get, excuse me. Yeah, you don't have to get the character, but every time a character's birthday shows up, they give you free rewards. For example, recently I had, Tartagia, aka Child's birthday, and he basically just explained about the whole, like, paragraph of his birthday, and you get, like, rewards like this stuff, and so it's very helpful. Food can heal your characters, as well as stuff like this is for, like, ascending your characters, so it's always cool to figure out whose birthday it is, so. And of course, time, you could change the time however you want it. You could change it to 2 days or just a little bit. So, it's up to you. Which you do have to change your time, of course. Because, you know, certain, like, events have to say, like, you have to change the time to 18 o'clock to 22 or something. And you gotta change it in the right time. So, there's that. But then in the settings, it'll explain everything there. I don't really have to explain what settings are because every game has settings, but there's controls, controller setup, graphics, audio, messages, language, account, resources, and other. And you just could change it to whatever, like, controls you want it to be. Of course, as you can see, I'm using my controller, so there's that. And it's easier for me to play. But like I said, you can play on keyboard and mouse if you really want to. And so, you can also change these. You can edit your profile, change your avatar, etc. Just change everything you want. You can check your adventure handbook. And then you can lower your world level, which I don't think you really want to do that because, well, it's up to you of how difficult, like, the game is for you. And so for me, it's very difficult, but not as difficult when you get used to it. So my, like, enemy levels increase more once you ascend, or not really ascend, but, you know, your adventure rank goes higher. So there's that. Then we have the shop, and basically you don't have to use your real money, like, to, like, buy this type of stuff. You could save all your money if you want to. So you could get this Welkin, which is basically you get an amount of primo gems every day for an entire month or so. And you get gems and they're for wishing, which we'll explain soon. Genesis crystals are for, like, these costume outfits. Of course, as you can see, this is sold out, but I already have the outfit, so yeah. But you just save up a bunch of Genesis crystals by buying them, or you just, you know, transfer the primo gems to Genesis crystals if you really want to, but you just can't save up for a costume. But I recommend you getting an outfit for a character you already have. For example, I have Duke, but I don't have Hu Tao, so there'd be no point if I just get Hu Tao's outfit, because it's just a waste of time and money, per se. Gift shop, there's of course the Welkin, we already explained that, and there's bundles that you can get, but I don't really get the bundles that much, but maybe one day, you never know. And then Paimon bargains, once you wish, you get star glitter if you, like, get a purple or gold every time you wish, every now and then. you get star glitter, and you can use it like whatever how many you have. You can try to save up as much as you want to get like some of these art stuff to use to ascend your weapons, or you can get a new weapon for whoever you want. And if you don't have these characters, you can get those characters, or if you already have them, these could be constellations to make your character stronger. This, however, is for like, leveling up your talents mostly, but it's really helpful. And yeah, you also get these fates, which are wishes, so that you can save up your wishes for a character you want on the banners. And of course, every now and then you get Stardust, which of course you can get, of course, these to level up your characters. Mystic Enchantment Ores is to level up your weapons. Mora's money. And then all of this is other, like, ascending weapons. And you get free wishes every, I don't know how many days, but you do get free wishes. And right now they're refreshing, so I have to wait about to be 8 days to get free wishes. But yeah, I recommend you get your free wishes because they're helpful, and then you can just keep on piling up until a character you want. And then these are the Primo Gems I've been talking to you about. So every time you get Primo Gems, you can also just make sure you get 5. Like for her, now I can get 5 rainbow. But once I spent all that, then I won't have enough for blue. So it's really up to you which you want to do. Because, yeah, every wish, like, type is different. And then the crystal top up, these are for, like, the Genesis crystals, and you can convert them to Primo Gems, and then you will have enough to wish, which, yes, I have tried my best not to spend this because they can be expensive, so I'm not gonna do customer service or confirm it because otherwise it's gonna show my credit cards, and I don't want to do that, so no. Then party setup is basically, of course, you choose whatever character you want, and then you just pick and choose and see who's gonna be strong for your team. For example, for now I have myself, but if I had to choose my characters, I would choose Mawika as my main fire, aka Pyro, then Yeon, Kaching, and then Rosaria. It's really up to you which characters you want to play as well as you need to make combo attacks. So, and there's a lot of powers. So we have Anamino, which as you can see, that's what I am right now. We have Hydro, Electro, Pyro, no, I was gonna say no, but that's a character, sorry. Cryo, Dendro, and Geo. So, there's a lot of, powers, but at the same time, that's just how the game works. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. Then, of course, you can add your friends here. You get achievements for whatever you do, such as, attacking monsters, collecting books, etc. Then the archive is just a bunch of history that you've done over the whatever how long you've been doing Genshin. The character archives, however, is just to show which characters you have not yet obtained, as well as show characters that joined your party when you do get them. For example, Aoife joined on sorry, I gotta think, May 19 of this year. But the ones that are blacked out, I have not gotten them yet because, well, you can only get a certain amount of characters per, month or so. Or a few weeks, per se. But, yeah, the characters I have, they're here and they joined for however how long. This, of course, is the first character you get. And this is how long I've been playing. Probably a little before that, but, yeah. That's how I play. Characters, of course, it shows which characters you have, but in a preview of all the characters you have. which of course you already know, guys, that I have a lot of characters thanks to wishing. And of course you show your attributes, the weapons you use, artifacts to make you stronger. You get constellations already for your character from the Adventurers Guild. But if you're another character like Kachin, you have to wish, and then it's a very rare chance to get a 5-star that you want. For example, I'm lucky enough to have Kaya's constellation because he's extremely rare for, you know, to get in the standard banner. So it's based on luck of which characters you get. And each time you get a character, whether you have it or not, it'll be a constellation or you just start off as that character. But if once all the constellations are maxed, then that means you get more star glitter and stardust, and then you save up for more wishes. And they only have like 6 constellations each, so they can't get stronger than that unless you level up all your talents, which of course, as you can see by my Kachin, I'm more focused on these 2 before the normal attacks, which in all honesty, the normal attacks are not very helpful to max level, I think. But you mostly just use your elemental skills and bursts. So you try to get stronger. And then the profile, of course, is just to show off like who they voiced of each character. You could put your birthday, but the others, they already have pre-birthdays, and yeah. The affiliation is basically the location where they're from, like in the game, not in real life. But for my character, we don't know. We don't know where I'm from, so we gotta wait and find out. Vision, of course, is your power, I believe. Of course, for me, I'm none, even though I collect all the powers, but we just don't know why we collected Amanino in the first place. And then, of course, the constellation is just to tell you what the constellation is. For example, when I showed you guys Kaya, his constellation is a Pavo Oculus. Even though that, I don't know what that means, but yeah. And then, of course, it shows a little brief explanation of who this character is. And of course, I think from where they're from as well. But of course, you can choose which character you want to look if you don't want to like go, you know, keep going this way or that way. The story, of course, shows, of course, the stories of like about their character and the story in general, and their voiceovers of their like attack sounds or, you know, everything about themselves. For example, since I did not know they talk, all the characters except I think Lumine's, they talk when your birthday shows up and they have something to say. I did not know about this until later on because my birthday did not pass at the time. But this is an example of what one of my favorite boy characters would say if my birthday shows up. Or pass, per se.
Happy birthday. This is an important day for you. So tell me, what is it you wish for? If it is within my power to bestow it upon you, I will give it my consideration.
But yeah, they basically have so much voiceovers, and of course, you know, they just read by the lines, so. And the dressing room is basically whichever character that is. For example, I just mentioned that Diluc. I don't have his other outfit, but you can purchase it when you have enough Genesis crystals. You can change your wind gliders. Most of these are from each like region, and then you have to like max of the what's it called? The hold on. I'm trying to look. Max the I don't know what it's called. Oh, wait, there we go. I found it. The reputation level. And that's basically just attacking monsters and giving out materials. Some wings give out like for like, you know, throughout the story. And if you're like playing on PlayStation, you get these wings, but you can't wear them when you're on computer, which is a little stupid, but it's whatever. But for now, I have I have these wings on them because they match him well, and it's really up to which wings you choose. You don't have to match by the character colors or that, the design, but I think it just looks better. Echoes are from Vintage, or no, sorry, that's what they're called. I told you I'm not really good at explaining stuff, but you get these from the theater, but you have to do like the challenges, and so you gotta finish them completely in order to get them. And of course, the weapon just shows what weapon you have, and you can replace if you want to. But for me personally, this weapon is very helpful for Diluc because the crit rate, the attack, and in general, it just is a better weapon than using a 1-star weapon. But there's that. The training guide, it just shows you like what better things to do for your characters. For example, of Kaching, she's all good, but she needs her character talents all the way up. And that way it could be all green and she could be more stronger. But let's just say this, that I haven't done it yet because I'm trying to do other stuff. Inventory is just stuff that you collect over the past whatever how long you've been playing. You can collect a lot of stuff throughout the world, as well as you create furnishings and other things when you go to the blacksmiths, or in general in your world. When you saw me, I was collecting crabs because I need crabs for dishes, and you can cook dishes, so it's a lot of food. Quests, of course, is just the navigations and the reminders to tell you which quest you gotta go to, and you gotta follow the navigation. The map I just showed you is your typical map that shows everywhere in Mondstadt and every area that you have not unlocked or do unlock when you get the chance. Events I just showed you is the events that you do or get every now and then, depending on what they announce on which event. Adventurer's Handbook is basically just showing you what you have to do in each chapter of the investigation progress. For example, when you start off strong, you of course have this, which is visit the statues of the 7 at Windrise, activate 3 teleport waypoints, open 15 chests, as well as upgrade to the statues of the 7 Mondstadt to level 2. And you get rewards after like doing all these investigations, which I will say this, it did take me a long time to get me all this done because, well, I tend to not do this type of stuff, but it was all important anyway because Primo Gems as well as other things. Commissions are basically you have to do them every day and you get Primo Gems for it, as well as in general, they're just daily quests and you can totally do them, or you don't have to if you don't wanna. But I just do the easy way of just making into rocks of the, things to do an easy way, and it's all done that way. Domains, of course, are all the domains that you have to unlock or you do get, and it just shows the rest of the stuff you gotta do. But the domains are just for rewards and stuff to use to enhance your weapons. The enemies is just basically history of which enemy you've been to, as well as you can also go to that boss or mini boss and you can attack them again over and over again, but you gotta wait for a specific amount of time. Though you used to, but now they can just respawn anytime you want. But yeah, as you can see, I have not unlocked every boss, but I have unlocked a majority of them. But yeah, the guide is, of course, it just tells you what story quests you gotta do, such as of course incomplete ones, do world quests, and you have this to do, and it goes in order of what Archon quests to do, and you get free wishes for doing them. For example, these are the ones I did. And of course, when I first did this game, of course, this is the very first quest you do. And you get every rainbow wish when you finish it, though. And in battles, just the same thing as experience. You just, try your best to do what it says, and then you get rewards from it. Not it, but yeah. Wishes. We'll get to that soon. Battle Pass is basically like one of those other games you play and then you get rewards after you level up it. And you get as many rewards as you want, but you have to buy it in order to get the whole thing. For example, of course, once you start off strong, you can buy it and then you can get the lower stuff, but it doesn't give you all the way max to 50. It only will do that if you're close to 50. Like if you are in level 40, you can buy it and then it'll hit to 50. But make sure you don't overspend because this game is addicting to do that. So I'm trying my best not to do that. But you can also get rewards by just doing this. You get the crystals, you get books, you get Fragile Risen, which is to increase your moons so that in case you want to attack more monsters and get more stuff. As well as you get wishes too and primo gems. These chests are for the stuff to increase your talent levels, which I recommend you get talent like books, which of each character you use, depending on which character you use too. And this has a time limit, but I recommend just try to get as much as you can before the time limit goes. Because also there's other stuff like login, do daily commissions, and so forth. You gotta do all these within a week. And then once Sunday or Monday shows up, it resets. And then you can just go back to doing these weekly missions. As you can see, I'm already maxed, so I don't really need to. There's also another chest you can do, and it's one of these weapons you can choose from, depending on which character you have, so that you can make your character stronger. Co-op mode is, your typical co-op mode. You can join, or they can join your world, and you can just, try out their world and see if you can handle the stronger monsters they got, or in general they'll help you of what you got planned, or what to do of quests, or you can look for chests together, but you can't use your compass on each other's worlds. As well as the story quest that you have that is important, they can't participate in those quests, only you can. And as well as they can participate in some world quests, but most of them, as well as of course the story quests, you can't have your friend join to do that. You have to do your own story, but you have to be in a specific level to join people's worlds as well as they join you. So took a long time for me when I wanted somebody to join my world. So then special events, of course, it's just announcing stuff, which of course I need to do that, but I'm gonna do off camera that soon. So but it's just special events that shows that you can do some of them from events like the upcoming events that we have planned, and we can get rewards from those browsers, as well as they just in general remind you to what to do, such as of course in the surveys, which will be answering a lot of questions of your opinion and just other personal information, but you get more after that, or primo gems at the start, and so on. The community is just showing a bunch of other stuff, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it, but it'll show you a website or so. And the version highlights is just showing all the highlights upcoming and currently. Feedback is giving you, you have to give them feedback every now and then of what you want. Yeah. Sorry if I'm out of breath a little bit. It's hard to explain throughout the whole experience. And then the last but not least, we already know about the shop, but this is the wish area. And so, every time a few weeks or so happens, you get to choose who you want to wish for. For example, we have 2 5-star characters, and they're random every now and then. They're not the same, though I wish they could be to get another chance. Not just kidding, I'm kidding. I'm grateful for whatever banners they brought out. So, of course, you're gonna have these banners, but when you first start off the game, it's gonna be the beginner banner, and that's gonna go away afterwards. But after that, it's the most common banners that you will get every time this resets. So, for the 5-star characters, as you can see of these 2 banners right here, we have Moeka and Emily. And if you guys did not pay attention, I already have Moeka, so I'm not wishing for her currently. I'm wishing for Emily. And also, of course, if you're that lucky, you could get gold right off the bat, but it's based on luck. And, well, let's just say I am lucky on getting some characters, but not because I'm feeling lucky. It's because somebody is like, oh, you'll get this character now. And then I end up getting them. Which is called jinxing, I guess. So, yeah. But every time a banner resets, it depends on which character you want. And of course, like I said, it's not very guaranteed to have a gold right off the bat. And so, as you can see, I'm wishing for Emily, but you don't have to just get Emily, if you're lucky. But the other characters you could be getting are 4-star characters. And as you can see, there's Eon-san, Xiaolin, and Yao Yao. You could get one of them, both of them, all of them, or other characters that aren't in the banner, but there are guaranteed in that, banner. And so, you also have the weapon banner, which these are, of course, other weapons, like 4 stars, but the most weapon of the 5-star specifically are the signature weapons that Moeka and Emily use. As you can see, I have Emily's weapons for a chance, even though I'm probably not going to be able to make it to get the weapon. I'm trying to get her first, but you never know. But it's, like I said, it's based on chance. And then, of course, this standard wish, which we don't have a time limit of, but this, however, is for blue wishes. The rest of these are rainbow, but this one, however, is for blue. And so, this could be anything, really. It could be a 5-star weapon, could be a 5-star character, as you can see by the banner. You could get Mona, Kachin, or Chi-Chi, or any 5-star character that you could get, or a 4-star character as well. Like I said, I got Kaya one time in this banner, and that was extremely lucky, because when you have Kaya, Diluc, Lisa, Amber, the start off people in Mondstadt, you are, it's very rare to get them, and so you have to be really, really lucky to get those. But every time you wish, it's a habit to keep on wishing, but just don't overspend so many Genesis crystals, guys, because I tend to do that, and I'm trying not to do that, like I said. But you get Primo Gems from doing quests, you get chests from exploring, gain waypoints, statues of 7, and other stuff like, for example, the Frostberry tree, which I'll show you real quick, because soon I'm gonna have to end the video, but yeah. But for example, for the Frostberry tree, this basically gives you rewards every time you find certain things about it. For example, you need to find like certain crimsons. I forgot what they're called, but you basically get a certain amount of things that you need to get around the whole area, and then you can like level it up until the max. And as you can see, you also get these wings as well, which I don't know why, if it's just me, but that's getting a little creepy when it's up close like that. But you get a lot of rewards every time you offer the amount of things you need to do. For example, when you first offer it, you get a bluish, you get adventure experience, not crystals, enhancement ores, and more. And then over time, you get, of course, rainbow wishes. You get diagrams, which are instructions of what to do to use for stuff to like have the blacksmiths to make. And then it just keeps going until, you know, polearm billets are just, you know, useful for making sure that you have enough for a weapon to use. You get name cards, which are for your background when you edit your profile and all. And then, yeah, you get a lot of other stuff. And see what I mean, though, that when I walk around here. See right here, there's the snow meter. So once it's full, you lose health. So you have to like make sure there's fire torches around, or you could go in front of the frost-bearing tree to heat up. Or you can also try using these, and they prevent the ice somewhat. But they're only here for amount of time per se. But you can hit trees, get branches, collect a lot of stuff throughout the whole thing. And yeah, pretty much that's it. As well as there's a card game you could play, but I'm not going to show an example because I already did that many episodes before. But you can try it out for yourself. And so, that's pretty much it. I can explain this whole entire game per se. But one last look for all my characters I have currently. These are all the characters I've been wishing, as well as I get them. They like join right off the bat. For example, like D-Luke, Kaya, Lisa, and Amber. For like when you first you get introduced to them, as well as in general they'll join you right off the bat. For other characters, you gotta wish for them, but it's not too bad. But like I said, most characters are rare to get, and some of them you could have a chance to get them. For example, I wanted Mizuki. It's very hard to get her because, you know, a chance to get 4 stars. But I got lucky. Just like how I got lucky that there was a Venti banner. Because Venti is one of the most rare characters to have a rerun of a banner. As well as like maybe Eula. But I don't have her. But hopefully one day I'll be able to get her. But the only time I'll be able to get her is if I wish on the standard banner. Wish. But who knows, I might not end up getting her. Might get another constellation for a rare character or somebody else that I want. For example, I want Mona, but apparently she's like, I'm not showing up. I am not gonna come over to your party. But yeah, these are all the characters I have currently. And I'm working on every character. And yes, if you're wondering why I have not do that, it's because it's gonna ruin how much attack he does. So I'm not going to, you know, do that. But it's really up to you if you want to. But I highly recommend you don't, because it's gonna make a bad mistake. But yeah, these are all my characters, and I hope you like them. So, of course, it's not possible to get every character because, you know, some characters just can't, you know, show up. For example, I know some of these characters will have a rerun. For example, we have Solotly coming up, so a lot of people know this, but yeah. Other than that, a character that doesn't have a banner or you can't get them per se is Aloy, and so it came for free, and well, I don't think it's possible to get them again unless they do a rerun of her, but highly doubt that. But yeah, like I said, start off strong in Mondstadt, or the first area of when I was there in the beginning of the video, and then just continue on your way and do whichever how you want it. You can either do it in order of each region in total, or in general how the story goes. Because, for example, I'll show you right now. This paralogism is act. Alright, I can't really explain that. I don't know my numbers by those Roman numerals, but for example, Space Time is for You, that's chapter 5. So you start off chapter 1 and then finish all the acts, and then you gradually keep going to chapter 2, to chapter 3, and etc. So just keep on exploring and following the story. Or if you're like me, I ended up just going to Natlan right away, just because I don't want to miss out the story. But yeah, and another thing, if you ever do get Hoyo Play and install these games like Genshin Impact, download Zone Zero, and etc., make sure you of course install them, update when they need an update, and when you of course log in, you have to choose where you're from, and it's not really specifically, it's just either US, Europe, Asia, and I think that's about it. I think I'm missing something. But other than that, of course, you have to make your own account, verify your email, whatever you use, put your password in, and your username. But your username only shows when you choose a brother or sister, aka Ether or Lamine. Depending on which one you use, you then put your name. You can either put your YouTube name, your own real name, or just any name in general that you want to put out there. But I highly recommend you don't do like maybe no vulgar or inappropriate names. But it's really up to you if you really want to do that. But I highly doubt you're gonna be able to play with those types of names. So if you're like me, I put EspeonGinny because if you guys did not know this, because well, I don't think I ever talk about it, but I'll remind you guys again that Ginny isn't my nickname to my first name, so I put that, and Espeon's a Pokemon, which I represent myself as that Pokemon. It may become a furry, but I just love Espeon. It's a very beautiful Pokemon, and I just love Espeon in general. But, anyways, yeah. That's going to be it for this video. I hope this video helped and it really was entertaining of how I explain about the whole game and how you play, because like I said, I'm very new to doing a tutorial like this. So Yuenna, and I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong again, but Yuenna, I hope this video helps you or your friends if they're wanting to play this game, as well as other new people out there such as you guys. And so if you want another tutorial like on other games or like other like YouTube ideas that I can do, then leave them in the comments and maybe I'll do another tutorial video, but for like another game, like one of my DS games or something else that doesn't involve a lot of talking, because I do enjoy doing this, but it took a very long time to think of what to say, because yeah, I don't really pause my videos unless, you know, something happened in the background or I have to like make sure, you know, it's quiet. But anyways, yes, this is going to be the end of this video. I really hope you do enjoy this tutorial video, and if you did, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, put the bell all the way up so you get notified that I upload videos. I stream occasionally, but I am going to stream soon on the 25th, as well as I do YouTube shorts every now and then. And I do community posts every time I update or I need something important for you guys to do. Which, speaking of which, please make sure you check out the recent community post that I did, which I did explain that I'm going to be doing a questions and assumptions stream so that you guys get to know about Panther, me, or about us of our relationship. And you can basically just ask any question, make up as many assumptions as you want, but make sure you don't do anything like very, very inappropriate or religion or anything about presidents, because we're not really interested in all that. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't do like a lot of the ones of that category that I don't want to do, or nor he does. But please make sure you send as many as possible, and then the stream will happen, and I hope to see you guys there, because like I said, it'll happen on the 25th. And so, yeah, until then, that is going to be it. And also, make sure you subscribe to all my besties out there that I mentioned in my featured channels area, which if you scroll all the way down, it says my online besties. Of course, we have That Funny Girl Gladden, Puyo&SonicFAN, Powertron1, the Metal One, and so much more lovable people that I enjoy being around with. And their content is just as amazing as Panthers and I. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video, and I hope you really do enjoy this tutorial. But until then, I will see you guys in my next video. I don't know what video that'll be, but I just know for sure I'll do other videos before the live stream, which is coming up so soon. I'm so excited. But yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you all so much, and have a great morning, night, or whatever time you're at on your time zone. Bye, guys. Mwah.